All right, good afternoon, everyone. So I hope you had a nice lunch and welcome to today's workshop session. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Christopher and I am a chemical engineering graduate from Taylor's. Right now I'm assisting Dr. Mushtaq with teaching the engineering design module for the foundation in engineering courses. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to bring you through an experience where you can feel and experience CDIO for yourself. Okay? So I'm going to put you in the students' shoes today. So that way I believe you can engage your students better. All right? All right. So let's start by thinking, if I give students or anyone a simple challenge, be it to build a product, design a system, or even coming up with a process, what methods do you think they would use? Okay? Being a student myself, working in so many different projects over the past few years, right on I see a challenge, I dive into, okay, let's build this. Okay? I totally ignore coming up with the ideas. I totally ignore coming up with a proper design. I dive right in, trying to solve the challenge based on whatever I know. Okay? So that really got me thinking, because when I was in my semester 1, which was many years ago in 2009, myself and my classmates, we had a lot of difficulty in completing a project successfully, all because we assume we already know how to do it. And because of this assumption that we know how to do it, we straight go into implement and operate, and we don't do conceive or design. So in my second semester, okay, I was taking up this innovation subject with Dr. Edwin, who presented yesterday morning. So he taught us a lot about the CDIO process. And at that point of time, you know, being like freshies, we were still skeptical about what he has to say. I mean, like, oh, come on, why are you telling me how to do things when I think I know how to do things? So the whole idea here was that my group personally had a lot of difficulties. Okay? So we were given 14 weeks to solve a challenge. But we chose one challenge, and midway through we realized, okay, this is not going to work. So we chose another challenge. And this process happened 3 or 4 times. And when we finally decided on an actual, challenge that we're actually passionate about, we were left with 7 weeks. Okay? That's half the time everybody else was given. At that point of time, all my classmates and all the other teams were already building prototypes and testing out their products, and we are still there undecided how to start. So then we decided to take a leap of faith, as Dr. Edwin has said, and tried the CDIO process. Okay? So the first thing that we did was, because we don't normally do conceive, so we tried many techniques as taught to us by Dr. Edwin: brainstorming, random entry, observations. We did all these techniques in order to better conceive the product. Okay? Then we went into design. Not just drawing design, but design where we did body storming, and we really went out there and pictured how the actual product would look like, how we would operate it, and how the user would actually use it. Okay? Then we went on to implement it, so we got it built, went to many factories, went to many suppliers, spoke to many people who I would have never spoken to before in the past, because I'm a Malaysian Chinese, but I don't speak Chinese. And in Malaysia itself, a lot of our our factories are pure Chinese speakers. So to be able to converse with them in their language was a bit of a challenge for me. So anyway, we managed to implement it. And lastly, we managed to operate it. So what amazed me was that even though we had only 7 weeks, when everyone else had 14 weeks, we managed to come up with a successful project that not only was finished in time, but was still within budget and was still of quality. Okay? And this project actually was assessed by professors from University of New South Wales. Anybody from New South Wales here? No? Okay, so we had Professor Rodney Chaplin, if I'm not mistaken. He came to assess the project, and surprisingly, he actually gave an award to my group and myself for this project. So that made me really consider again the way I actually work on a challenge, the way I work on an issue, and how I tackle it. So really, after this experience, every subsequent project, I am diving straight in with the CDIO process, okay? So initially, I figured that the results are only, okay, getting the project done in time. But what I didn't realize at that point of time is, getting the project done in time is one thing, but being a competitive person, I wanted my project to stand out. So over the years, I've worked on many, many different projects, and I can say that by using the CDIO process, my subsequent projects all managed to win awards, both on a national level and an international level. And it's like I'm preaching some kind of weird religion, but it is true that only with the CDIO I managed to achieve this. I strongly believe because I went through the process which I think was the way we should do things, and it failed. And I went through the process of CDIO, and I managed to get results. So in order for students to be able to start practicing CDIO, they need to really believe that they can do it with this process first. Because one time I managed to do it, I'm a total convert already. So I eat and breathe CDIO from now on. Next, please. So I convert myself from a skeptic to a believer. And from then on, I was very intrigued and I wanted to know more about CDIO. So I went on to participate in 2 CDIO conferences. Once in Denmark, that was 2 years ago. And the most recent one was this June in MIT. So being there as a student really made me realize that we come from a small country, Malaysia, and being able to go all the way to the international level, it's really amazing. And I really could not have done it if I was not exposed to CDIO in the past. So I want to bring you through a process in which we do here in Taylor's. So in Taylor's University, we are very passionate about promoting engineering, not only to the community, but to younger generations as well. So an annual event that we would have is what we call the CO2 car competition. So here's a picture of it. A month before the CO2 car competition, which is open to high school students, which I believe is year 10 or so in some of your countries. So these are like 15-year-old students who would come here for a day, a month before their competition. During that day, what we would do is I would have a briefing for them. I would teach them about safety. I would teach them how to present. And more importantly, I would introduce them to CDIO. So how I do this is I have a workshop in which I get them to CDIO a product within a short period of time. So seeing that Malaysian high school students can do this, I believe that practicing members of the CDIO should be able to do it as well. So what we're going to do today is we are going to have a challenge in which you would CDIO a product within 2 hours. Okay? It sounds like a very interesting thing to do, and it is. And myself, as well as the facilitators, Dr. Chong and my colleague Mike, would be going around to help you with this process as well. Okay? So we've talked so much about CDIO in the past 3 days. It's just theory. Well, now it's time to put it to the test. Okay? And when I'm teaching the foundation students, I would come to the class and say, okay, let's have a test today. And they love it so much. So today we would have a CDIO test, okay, to see whether or not everything you've learned over the past 3 days you have absorbed and be able to put it into actual use. Okay? So the test here is, okay, my assistants would be passing out some materials later, and I want you to build a device that can inflate a balloon to the largest size. Okay? This is a heart-shaped balloon. So there are many teams here. The team that can blow the biggest CDIO heart would win today's challenge. Okay? So the only way you can inflate a balloon is by building a device. You cannot use your mouth. You cannot find some weird ways to do it. Okay? And the materials that you will be provided are some tape, a balloon, and some newspapers, so recyclable materials. Again, we want to be as sustainable as possible. Additionally, I will be passing out some markers, and you would notice that there are boards hanging around your stations. I would like you to use these boards to conceive and design your device, okay? So that other members can have a look, as well as we can share at the end of the day what you have designed. Okay? So Again, the challenge is to inflate a balloon to the largest size possible using the limited resources as well as using the CDIO processes. Okay, so the first step is to conceive. So what we want you to do is come up with ideas. So discuss as a team, which I believe is a team of people that you've not met before, perhaps. So work together, come up with lots of ideas. Write down as many as you want on the boards. If you don't have enough, you can always raise your hand. If you need anything else, we will come and assist you as well. Okay? So you would have 20 minutes to conceive, then we will move on to the design stage. Any questions thus far? This is a 15-year-old challenge, so we are expecting great things out of all of you. Okay? So if you have no questions, I will start the timer. You will have 20 minutes to conceive. Yeah. Ideas are good. I think when you have an idea, what I would normally do is just write them down, just write all of it down. And then the last 5 minutes or so, maybe pick one idea that you are most comfortable with and go with it. Then we'll start designing. No, you can use gases if you want.
Okay, we need like air tank.
But it has to be a gas. It shouldn't be liquid. I see what you're trying to do. Yeah.
Because that's when you did not put any limitations to your particular questions. That we may come with other imaginations that we could actually infill this with water.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. I didn't think about that also.
Okay, now actually not water.
It's up to you. The device is up to you. So if you are pressing it again and again, it's fine as well.
How do we get the air first? Can you blow?
You can't blow. You can't blow.
You can't blow direct, I know.
You can't blow.
But can I blow?
Can we make a box and blow inside the box?
And I didn't blow direct.
Not direct. Keep it in there.
Okay.
Keep it in the box.
Yeah. So there's a container that kind of funnels the air into the balloon, right?
And then we get the first stage of air.
No, we don't want you to blow at all.
At
So
all?
it's yes.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay,
So
can we use air conditioning?
air conditioning. I guess you could in that case since
Okay, we use
it's not blowing.
Only the instrument given as only 3, right?
Yeah.
So we use can we use the air conditioner?
That sounds very creative. I can't wait to see what you're going to use with the air conditioner. So,
Okay, we do that.
yeah. Do try to have your conceive on the board so that other people can see as well. I prepared boards and the markers for you. So
Because we don't want to see this.
I think there's a lot of ideas so we can share at the end of the day.
At the end.
Yeah, at the end. Are we using the bottom now? But that wasn't provided, right?
Dr. Chong say can. It's something you can sell.
Okay, if we are done, we are done. Please, okay?
You see how easy?
You need a bigger border. Let's go 7-Eleven buy it.
But you can't get it to a larger size, right?
Hold on.
Hold on.
No, don't tell me it's one shot.
Lao Hong.
Why laugh?
Has no meaning. I'm telling you.
But Dr. Chong said that they can.
No. Now, let's go and get some
Bigger water bottle.
bigger water bottle.
Let's go 7-Eleven.
I think we need some tips so that we could actually.
Technically, we're still on the conceive stage, so.
We can see it.
We are experimenting.
Wow!
We can see it already.
All right, we are down to the last 4 minutes of the conceive stage. So now is where you pick out your best ideas and go with it. Okay? All right, so we are moving on to the design stage. I know many teams are very excited. They are already experimenting. But this is the common trend that we see in our students. They go straight into trial and error without considering the design. Okay? So don't fall into that trap. Try to design it on the board. It's a lot more complicated than you think. There's some physics involved behind here. So design first before you implement. Okay? We are trying to do the CDIO process. So for that, we will have another 20 minutes for you to design before we go for a short break.
This is what happened to the students.
Engineering.
Yes?
Clarify. You cannot blow directly, isn't it?
You cannot, technically you can't blow at all because we don't want you to create just like a funnel that you blow at another end and just goes in. So we want to see some like a really valuable device. Yes. All right, you have 40 minutes to inflate the largest balloon you can. Okay, so the timer is there. All right, you have 40 minutes to implement and operate, so inflate the largest balloon you can. So the timer's on the projector. Okay, 40 minutes left. All right, you have 40 minutes left to inflate the largest balloon you can. So that's time.
We have a new one.
Take the adapter because I want to plug in the video there.
It's the best I can do for this balloon.
This was blown.
I saw it was pumped. I saw it.
This is the best I can do.
All right. Team managed to inflate the balloon even by a little bit. That's all. Anyone else managed to inflate the balloon?
By like 5 cm of air.
I think Eunice managed to do with the long balloon.
Is it?
Yeah, she managed to pump with the long balloon. Great attempt. Some of you were asking what did the high school students do. The thing that they did closest resembled to is actually by Dr. Kave's team. So it's something of a cross between a flute and a pump. Okay, I believe that with a bit of improvement, theirs can actually really work very well. Yeah. So we've seen quite a few teams, and we can't decide the winner, so we decide to award the prize to 3 teams. Okay. The first, of course, to Dr. Kave's team. And also to Dr. Marwan's team. And to your team as well.
Can you come forward to
So we have a little something for all the winners. Alright, thank you.
Yeah. Your team? Bring along your product. Yes.
It's very easy to share. If you open it, it's very easy to share.
One, two, three.
Alright, we hope you had a lot of fun. Okay, and we want to share with you that CDIO actually can be fun. Students enjoy it. That's why the students stay in the lab so late. So I think you experienced that firsthand as well. So thank you so much for your participation. And we should proceed back to LT12 for the closing ceremony.